Testing. I think we're live. Yes, we are. Okay. Had to get the audio situation with the microphone set up. I find it very distracting to hear myself on a delay in my own headset, so I have that turned off, so I can't hear myself. Luckily, there's a little gauge or display that shows the levels for both the game and for my microphone. Okay, split. Anyway, we'll get started here momentarily. I normally do these things at night, as far as the online streaming thing goes. Fewer opportunities to be interrupted, but I had some unexpected free time open up. Finished a project a little sooner than anticipated, so we'll go ahead and get this going now. So our last show was pretty strong. We remain solid as a B popularity. Having that Showman match worked well. It was a highly rated match. Wyndham and Barrington Hughes. So that bumped Showman up a little bit, but as long as I don't book that sort of match too often, I don't think it's going to adversely affect me that much. We'll see. Even though here I am on the assets 2.59 million, WWE still has north of 100 million, so I'm still way behind. Although I have 19 wrestlers, only 15 for WWE, and then down from there. Almost get the impression that these companies default toward the number of wrestlers that you initially set them up with. At least it seems that way. I've heard tales online of people that played through rather quickly, but it assigned a WWE company with like 100 wrestlers. They went from like $55 million to out of business in a year, less than a year. So I don't want to overburden any of these promotions when I finally do the big 17 promotion playthrough. Running into the problem of not having enough viable free agents out there, not just for me, but for anybody. Particularly with the way this game is set up, where you can only sign at most one wrestler to a contract per month. And until there's some sort of mod where I can decide the winner without having to play the match, it's a little risky to bring in outsiders for one-offs and have them challenge for titles. So that begins to constrict your options just a little bit in this game. So I sold nearly half of the t-shirts that I printed on the last show. And this is where I'm not sure if being in front of 30,000 fans versus 40,000 makes a difference as far as merch goes. Not exactly an easy way to compare and contrast. Towels are usually big sellers. For some of these, I'll stay with all lower quantities. I even do branded snacks. Roster that comes with the game that's set up to help you find guys you don't know, but with real life and certainly their abilities listed or their popularity listed, it's not exactly hard to figure out who would be a good fit and who wouldn't. was CM Punk going back to WWE in this simulation. It took until 2010. In real life, I think it's going to be longer than that, if ever. Look at Juice, $800 salary. And he had a good match when I brought him in before. So we'll give this a try. We'll go top dollar for the signing bonus. And if his salary really is $800, he's sitting there on the open market, he's getting this kind of offer, you think he'd say yes. I could offer him less, but I would like to have him. See, he offered high money level and he still said no. And that's it within Fire Promoter for bringing anybody in for the month. You get one shot at it, which is fine because I'm sure otherwise you try to game the system, find a bunch of free agents, make a bunch of lowball offers, wait for one of them to finally hit. It adds a little bit of strategy to it as well. It also makes it less like a true simulation, but that's okay. This is not a sim game per se. This is kind of its own thing with a lot of sim-like elements. Yeah, year one ranking. I keep thinking there's going to be something updated there, not yet. Invites. I think we've got this working better. Invariably, I'll still have guys that are going to no-show. But someone like Johnny Idol that can work a lucha match, I can put him against Flyer. Give him a lucha-style match. Oh, the game, I really enjoy it so far. It's very similar to the Game Boy Advance version of Fire Pro from several years back, the management of the ring mode. You really have to work to set things up initially the way you want it. It's somewhat difficult and cumbersome to customize, but once you get it, so far it's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it. So we'll see if I can get Johnny Idol. I was gonna let you work a lucha match. Come on, dude. Well, Sombra messed me up when he no-showed a few months back, but I decided to let that be water under the bridge because I was bringing in guys and not having them work their match style. Okay, Sombra, we'll take a chance. Alright, don't miss the show on me this time. One of the downers, if you have a guy that no-shows, you lose that match from your show. There's no option to replace it with somebody that's not working the show. I can go through here and take a look at the injuries. That's where you see condition listed. That's, as long as it's normal or good, I'm happy. So, well, I guess, you know, maybe all's well that ends well. The liar was with a poor condition. Can't work a lucha mask, and you can't work. I mean, he could because it's not a true injury, but that's, I think, the way to minimize your injury risk in this game is to not have the guys who are hurting go out there and try and muscle through it. All right, so you got Flyer and Mike Awesome. Both are going to be out. Make that 3 guys, although, well, he's finally up to a C level. No Shima either. No Cody. No Ambrose. Well, I guess it depends on what you want from the game. I know it's $20, and that's off-putting to some people, that price point. To me, I've already got my money's worth out of it. I think it's a lot of fun. I know it's a tough decision because make that kind of investment, you want to make sure it's something you like. And this is not a perfect game or perfect system by any means. But I've been waiting a long time for something even remotely close to this to come out, so. Okay, so I've got 13 guys healthy for this show. I got Sombra coming in, that makes 14. I don't have to do a tag match, but I might. Always do Sombra against Audaz. Oh, is it on sale? I haven't looked that closely at it. Yeah, I've got it on the PC. It's a far superior experience to the PS4. I own it for both systems, funny enough, but just because I love this game that much, I wanted to see what the differences were. But the Steam Workshop, and I know you can download from the PS4 as well, but the Steam Workshop makes it very easy to have. I've got, I think, 1,200 wrestlers, give or take. You can have thousands and thousands if you wanted them. So yeah, if you're going to get it, I would say the PC would be the way to go, especially with the mods. And I don't have any mods running at the moment. But that lets you change the camera angle, and I'm hoping it'll let me set it up where I can, like a true pro wrestling booker, and assign the match winners. I believe that's possible, but I'm not entirely sure yet. And as it is with the reported junior heavyweight DLC coming out, the DLC, like what I'm in right now, is in this fire promoter mode. This just came out, this part of it. I mean, the game's been out since, in early access since, I think, the middle of 2017. I usually sim the matches on here. I'll play sometime, and I've played a couple of matches on here when I wanted to make sure the right guy won. I was trying to get the ECW and New Japan titles. I ended up winning. But it makes for a lesser viewing experience from my. I'm sure there are people that can do it very well playing it, but when I'm in there playing to win, especially, it's not typically nearly as entertaining as just letting the computer sort it out. But this is the rare game that's fun to both play and sim. And that's been true of this series going all the way back to when I first played it in 1996. Let's get Audaz. If I can get him in, we'll have a lucha match with him and Sombra. Okay. Astral. Maybe it'll work. I'm costing myself some money here as far as these offers, but it's only a couple of $1,000. I'm sitting there at 2.5 million. Here's something to point out. You look at the guys that. Yeah, this to me, there's a lot of nostalgia because I had a SNES. This was after my freshman year of college, so this is the summer of '96. I got Superfire Pro Wrestling X Premium, and there was a way to mod those SNES to play the actual imported game. Yeah, it is about as close as we're gonna get to GM mode. I mean, there's the mod that I think Carzilla made that mod that has like an alternate, like a management of the ring game, but I never really have messed much with it. But yeah, this is like adding GM mode to a game essentially, so it's. There are gripes to be found with it, but it's a lot of fun. When you look at it, not as much of just like a true sim experience, it's more like, okay, this is a game that's based on several elements of a sim. If that makes any sense. What I was going to point out here was the salary. I mean, if I want Roman Reigns, that's $21,000 on the salary. For Seth Rollins, he's dropped his price of it. It's only $27,900. Whereas you look at my roster, I can't pull it up here because I'm on the wrong page to pull up my roster. I don't have a special controller for my computer either. I use my PS4 controller and plug it into the USB port. I've never used an Xbox One controller. I'm sure it's comparable. But I don't know if there's a way that you can plug it into your computer, or I just don't know how that works. But yes, I mean, if you're going to play the game, you really need to have a controller. Trying to play with a keyboard, it's going to prove to be very frustrating. I'm sure there are people that can do it and manage to make it work, but yeah, I think you'll get a lot more fun out of it if you have a controller hooked up. If you need like a cord or something, I would hope there'd be some sort of USB to Xbox controller, kind of like what I have plugged in right now to my computer. All right. Got to point out though with my team, you look at the salaries. Nobody above 2,400. If you throw off the wage scale, from what I understand, you'll get a lot of requests from guys that are wanting similar pay. So it would almost punish me to bring in somebody like Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins. I could afford them, but it's almost like the quandary WWE had trying to sign everybody up to not allow AEW to get off the ground. So Jericho in this game is both my champion and the ECW champion. ECW heavyweight champion. Shane Douglas leaving ECW, and then I brought him in. And Jericho I'm not really going to defend the belts at this point, but I've won other promotions, have them hanging around. Oh no, it shows on the screen there the A or B. I wish it would show the configuration for PlayStation 4. I don't think you can set it that way. So Cedric Alexander is my junior heavyweight champion, but a problem with the free agent market, there aren't a lot of junior heavyweights left that will work my style. Yeah, I'm almost to the end of year 2. I had a real long run playing my first night of the game. But I reached the point where some of these matches I'll skip the undercard. It starts to become tiresome after a while seeing the same guys over and over. Especially when it's like Yoshihashi. But that was just me when I set this particular game up, trying to keep the same number of free agents overall as the game would have had with the default. Maybe they can bring in Scorpio to work against Sombra, because it lists Too Cold Scorpio with a lucha style. I mean, I know he did flips in the early 90s in an era when you didn't see that as much. Well, I tell you, to me, there's a lot more depth to this than most WWE games. You know, it's not to knock what 2K does. I mean, they obviously have a positive business model that works for them. But I mean, to me, the game has gone down the series as far as quality goes overall with gameplay, at least for what I look for in a game. I'd much rather play an older title like Here Comes the Pain on the PS2, which is one of the very best ever, and also had a GM mode of sorts, certainly more than what they offer you today. Oh, okay, I can't. The reason I can't hire Scorpio is because I'm on the page just looking at it, not the invite page. Is some cumbersome. There are some cumbersome elements in this game. That includes the user interface and the menus. All right, come on, Scorpio. All right. Yeah, Total Extreme Wrestling 2020 should be fun. I haven't played. I've got 2016, and I had this long career going. A couple of years in, I had a really strong run with Ring of Honor, with Alex Shelley as my main star. It worked remarkably well. I did everybody from Kurt Angle to Alberto, Mysterio. But in that, I also had it where TNA turned into an all-women's promotion and actually started to thrive and make money, which was interesting. Though most of the women wrestlers I had in there now are in the WWE system. But yeah, TEW 2020, I look forward to that. Problem is, playing that is like a time vacuum. I'm blinking, it's like 4 hours have gone down the drain. But it's very entertaining. Oh, was it a country limitation for you on 2016? I didn't buy it through Steam. I bought it directly through the company that makes it, I guess. I've got the product key. So hopefully it'll be some game you can play in your area. That was one of my frustrations back in the 90s when they would intentionally region lock certain, for almost all games. So I would, these Japanese imports, and have to do strange things with my console to be able to play them. That goes from Champion Wrestler to Tuken Retsuden on up. Even that first Fire Pro game. And I had the Fire Pro D. I bought it at well after the system's run, the Dreamcast. I don't have it anymore. And I forget what I had to do to get that game to play. But yeah, it's nice to have gone from that to where most things are internationally available. I don't understand with the UK, they like with Fire Pro, it was like the DLC for this Fire Promoter mode came out, I understand it, a day later than it did. But it came out first on the PS4, so I don't really understand how all that works. Bring in one more to try and get an even number of wrestlers that are healthy for this show. King's Road would be great, but if I'm bringing in Roman, I'm going to have him take on Jericho, but I want Jericho to win. I'm not inclined to play as the match. Oh, okay, I misunderstood you with the... You're talking about TEW being available in the UK. I don't understand why it wouldn't be. That would seem very strange to me. Some of the international license stuff, I don't know as well as I probably should. I remember when I spent a semester of college at Harlexton College in Grantham, England. I had the time of my life there. Absolutely loved it. But remember the computers over there being just a little bit different. And the college radio station that I was at for 4 years, WUEV, they had a special room set up with their own computer, so I was able to use that. As far as for filing reports and doing some work with the news department. Feature story type stuff in Harlexton. I can do Show to come in. He never does seem to want to work for me. Okay, Show's just not going to happen with him. Bring in Tai Chi. Get some cheap heat, some go-away heat. All right. Yeah, I like Sammy. I actually saw him wrestle in person the very first Aero Lucha show here in Nashville. I think it was MVP that he wrestled, so it wasn't exactly a typical match for him. He's a good talent, though. I may have to go after him, outright try and sign him. I want to think his money was a little bit high. Yes, he's salary $57.60. I mean, my top guy is Ambrose, and he makes $2,400. I mean, this would be just as a one-off, but he's only with a D popularity in the United States. It would actually be a pretty tough move to justify business-wise, so I'm going to pass on Sammy for now. Although with a relative lack of options free agent-wise, at some point I'm going to have to bite the bullet and bring in some of these more expensive guys. Oh, okay, that's the wrong button. I get paranoid about that proceed button. At least it gives you a warning, doesn't just throw you into the next month. Bear with me here for 1 second, please. Checking something here as far as how Twitch looks when you're streaming live, and it shows, if you click under videos on your dashboard, I guess it's called. It's Fire Pro World Fan. Bring up something from before. Not sure how cooperative it's going to be. Got it muted. I'm seeing if that's going to affect anything with the way this broadcast is going. So I think I'm going to do Terry Gordy versus Chris Jericho in the main event here. I don't know if I'm going to go with 8 matches and actually take a look here at it's 13 healthy in-house. And then I've got 3 guys from the outside coming in. So 16 in total. No tag matches, but that's fine because I don't have a tag title defense. I could go 7 matches and do like a #1 contenders match. Okay. Gordy's an A, so that's going to be fine. A against an S. Main event. Scorpio's a B. Tai Chi a C. And Sombra is a B. I'm going to do Scorpio versus Sombra of a pair of outsiders a little bit later on in the card. I'll do Cedric Alexander defending the Junior Heavyweight Championship against Shima. Shima's up to a C level of popularity. I'm going to put that further down on the card, though. Or maybe I'll do T-Hawk. T-Hawk and Cedric again face off. See, I'll go 8 matches. Just not doing any tag team stuff today. At least for this month. And you'll note that it makes you put the champion on the right side for whatever reason. That's the way this game is. But you can try and change it. It's very stubborn about it, at least in my experience. So that's not the worst thing in the world I have to deal with. It's a little different. So yeah, I'll do Gordy challenging Jericho for the main event. Much as I would like to use Mike Awesome with that S. They do Omega versus Malenko in the semi-main. They're both A, popularity, non-title. Even though Malenko has the quote-unquote New Japan Heavyweight Championship they got from Nakamura. With the alternate there with the red. Goldberg versus Walter. Have them. I would be tempted to put them in the main event, but Walter being at a B popularity versus a pair of A's facing off. A versus B just fine in this spot here. 6 out of 8 on a card. Easier if I can override and force Gran Guerrero to fit into the junior heavyweight category. That's not an option. Make it a non-title match then. A versus A, Gran Guerrero against Cedric Alexander. Spot for Wyndham versus Williams. I'm not overlooking anything. And Neville in there is an A. Like 3 in a row here with a poor condition. Ambrose is in poor condition, but Neville's good to go. Them in a singles match against T-Hawk. justify giving the winner a title opportunity, championship opportunity, a title shot against Cedric Alexander for the junior heavyweight championship. Yoshihashi. Who's a C. Sombra is a B. Taichi's a C. Scorpio's a B. So we'll do the lucha match here. What, Andrade, La Sombra. Gotta make sure. I always go through and check from a configuration standpoint on matches before I start, especially here. The type I'm changing to be to lucha. Switch that in. This other match we'll do. Yoshihashi against Taichi. Now we figure out where to run. Could run this 40,000 seat venue. Larger than 30,000 here. So I haven't unlocked arena yet. So I'll do 40,000. $10 a ticket with no advertising. Obviously, it's a lot of empty seats, which you don't want. If I spend $100,000 for a TV commercial, it's going to bump me from 26,000 to a sold-out house at $20 a pop. Always a chance of somebody no-showing on it, messing things up. But that looks like a pretty good setup right there. I'm not overlooking things or presuming something is there as a default. It's not. All right, 8 matches total on this card. So we're locked in. Save this real quick. So yes. Scorpio cancels. No Scorpio and no Sombra. It's gonna hurt the house. Well, they both canceled, so it had to happen. I guess those two are the ones to have it be. Rather than having 2 matches knocked out, it's only 1. This will cost me my sellout, I'm sure. Yeah, look at that. That might hurt me. Could drop me back down to sea level. I don't know, hope not. We're going to skip this. I'll spare you the torment of Yoshihashi versus Taichi. You know, Taichi, one of the funnier things that I think I've ever seen out of New Japan, when he was challenging Naito for the Intercontinental Championship earlier this year, the pre-match video package was showing Taichi playing Fire Pro. It was crazy, surreal, and somewhat funny too, all at the same time. Okay, that turned out well. My contract guy won 92%, even though it's a Yoshihashi match. Definitely will take that. I'm gonna watch this one. Booking standpoint, it would probably work out better for me if T-Hawk were to win this match. Dean Ambrose coming back. Ideally, Neville will be healthy enough to work in a tag team championship defense on the next show. It would be fun to see this match in real life in AEW. I'm not sure how much we're inclined to bring in T-Hawk versus some of the other guys. He's been really good in this game, at the very least. For whatever that's worth. Sombra, I kind of overlooked this, but he became the first person to no-show multiple times for me. It's probably because in large part, my no-shows, I don't book him again. Of course, with the limited options, free agent-wise, there's so many viable choices to make before you have to take a chance on somebody again. here with a German suplex. They're getting the crowd into it. Springboard dropkick from Pac. That'll do it. Pac with the victory at the 13-17 mark. I'm glad that didn't go terribly long. There does seem to be some correlation between the wrestler, I'm not sure what you can call it, the health meter rating thing. A correlation between that and how long their previous matches were. How much, if that even matters at all. Okay, Wyndham versus Williams. Go ahead and go with this.
Fight!
These guys in their respective primes, they both really go. That's a very high level. Military press 3 minutes into the match. Dr. Death isn't wasting any time. arms day for Steve Williams. Keeps going with that overhead press. Keeps going back to the figure four. That's been busted open by Wyndham. I like how the blood on the mat in this game slowly disappears. One of those amusing elements that goes back in the series way back in those early titles. There's a mod out there that makes it so the bloodstains don't go away. Well, I didn't find it to be particularly strong addition to the game, so I usually had that one turned off.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Almost like Battle Armor He-Man when I was a kid. The chest part, when you get damaged in a battle over time, you have like stages of how well the chest plate's holding up. And then you've got Tomohiro Ishii, who's like Ram Man without the axe. But the War Raiders got that. I'm not a particularly big fan of when WWE forces somebody to change their name, but going from War Machine to War Raiders actually is one that worked out pretty well, I think. Backslide, but too close to the ropes. I suppose there's not a mod for referees to put on gloves when somebody gets busted open. Near fall from Williams, 2.9. Wyndham gets the victory. Look at that pool of blood around Dr. Death's head and chest. Crime scene. Wyndham, your winner. You get 91%, which is great. No qualms with that. Gran Guerrero against Cedric Alexander. Skip that one. 100% rating, nice. Guerrero gets the win with a stretch muffler. He's won a few times with that. Get that one over as a viable finisher. Goldberg versus Walter. So we lost the opening match, only 7 matches total on the show. Right now, our average card rating holding at 91%. I wonder if there would be much interest for Goldberg versus Ryback. If AEW could pull that together as a one-off. Certainly get the feeling they're looking for talent that hasn't already been exposed on a national basis. Either Goldberg versus Ryback or Goldberg versus Katsuya Kitamura. Out of New Japan. So Kitamura might end up in one of those other Japanese companies that are trying to make their move, especially with streaming services, for the opportunity to sell the product to audiences that did not have nearly this level of ease of getting it before. Pro Wrestling Noah has some new owners. Finally retired the Misawa green mat, which a lot of fans are not happy about. But clearly this new ownership group wants to forge a new identity for Noah. I think they're changing the logo as well. One element of the Japanese wrestling scene that I find rather fascinating is how people tend to be fans of one promotion in particular, and they don't like it when you try and mix that with other promotions, like the New Japan versus Noah feud that kind of abruptly ended about 3 years ago. That had a different kind of heat. Go away heat, not like in a, we're sick of Tai Chi, and they're having terrible matches. Goldberg's going for the quick win. The ref's right there. Really got him. That might have done it for Goldberg if Walter hadn't been right there against the ropes. Goldberg has looked very strong in this match. Spear. Certainly Walter's no slouch. Seeing him in New Orleans last year gave me an opportunity to witness the heavy chop in action. 2.9 count again. Walter's too blown up to take advantage of the opportunity. Too close to the ropes. No, not. This could do it. I thought it was going to be in the ropes. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to tell what's in the ropes and what's not. Goldberg gets the win. I'm not expecting just a huge rating for this match. It's so one-sided. Though at least they went in excess of 10 minutes. So Goldberg is the winner there. See, 78%. That's about what I figured. So one-sided. Can't really justify a much higher score. That's going to bring down the show average to 88%. Semi-main right here. Kenny Omega against Dean Malenko. Can you imagine that match in real life with both guys in their respective prime? Omega's so athletic that he can work with just about anybody. Malenko is such a great technician that in turn he can work with just about anybody. Think of like Omega against Zack Sabre Jr. And really that's about as close as we're going to get to Omega versus Malenko in reality.
Right.
And I'm going to be off microphone here for a moment or two. of the great things about simming Dean Malenko in this game is his transitions, even on Irish whips or coming back off the ropes of his own accord. You know, with a transition to a submission move or a roll for a pinfall attempt. That requires rather intricate timing, and the CPU is very good about pulling it off. Certainly compared with me trying to do it. Crowd's really into it. Dragon suplex. The V-trigger knee. Malenko needed to do something there. Slow down the pace a little bit. Gotta wrestle your kind of match, Malenko. Not Omega's faster style. This feels realistic how a Dean Malenko match would be. It's a nice high spot and then some chain wrestling, some submission work on the mat. With the J Driller. The one-winged angel for the win. That'll do it. Went a little shorter than I would have hoped, but Omega gets the victory clean in less than 12 minutes. So only 83% right there. He could have gone double that, probably would have been much different percent, but that's part of it. So we're at 87%. So if the Gordy and Jericho can deliver in the main event, Jericho, 3-time AEW heavyweight champion, also the ECW heavyweight champion, defending his AEW belt against Terry Gordy. Their first matchup in this Fire Promoter game. Make sure I save frequently. Got a battery backup for the computer, but sort of be on the safe side when it comes to data storage. So here we go, main event. Terry Gordy against Chris Jericho.
Fight! Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
Feels like such a big risk to bring in guys with the invite option. I had 2 of the 3 that I signed up for this show, even though it was going to have to do a lucha match. They both wanted to work lucha style, it seemed. Both of them end up no-showing. Coming up on the 2-year mark of this Fire Promoter promotion, Jericho has been my biggest star to date.
Come on!
Jericho's got the record of 6 consecutive successful title defenses. So I got reset. Jericho finally lost the belt, regained it. Now back making defenses.
5 minutes gone.
Crowd sounds to be into it.
1, 2.
I'm curious with my merch how that's going to turn out with several thousand less people. But I knew that was a risk. I mean, it could have been worse. All 3 guys could have no-shown for that. 2 fewer matches instead of 1. Got that great size. Almost starts to feel like a big man, little man match. I think Jericho's a little man by any means. Gordy's just so big. Look at that. 2.9 count. Really had a new champion. Or Nagi. Gordy had the momentum and then a code breaker from Jericho.
1, 2, 3.
What are you going to do, Jericho? Sit there and pose? Well, in fairness, it's probably the smart thing to do against Scary Gordy. Let him come to you. Again, Gordy sent to the outside.
1, 2. 10 minutes to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
DDT on the floor.
11, 12, 13.
And then a powerbomb on the floor.
15, 16.
I was afraid they might lock back up there at 14. The match in by count out. Jericho's finally getting some sustained offense here against Gordy. Just as I say that, he gets thrown to the outside.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
A long run to collide into the barrier.
13,
Dasher board.
15, 16.
Very slow 5 count. You're wielding a chair. Whoa. This could do it. We have a new champion. Terry Bam Bam Gordy. 1337. And the power bomb. Just a new champion and a 99% match rating. Very rare to have a match evaluation at 99% or 100% in a less than 15-minute match. Okay, so we finish up the event with an average card rating at 89%, so that should be good. We're going to get dinged for the attendance being lower with the match cancellation due to the no-shows. But it's still a success. Well, when they add up the money, that's going to be the real test. And look at that. Despite listing out on 8,500 additional attendees, still made in excess of $500,000, but it's above the $3 million mark going into December. I wonder at some point if the computer is going to prompt me to actually do one of these tournaments, or they just keep throwing it out there until I'm ready for it. Blue. Is that Yuji Nagata? These are clearly not photos of the people they're supposed to be representing. The dead eyes thing's really creepy though. I don't understand that. Blue. So Mr. Blue joins All Japan Pro Wrestling. Oh, maybe these are some like computer generated guys. Unless I had a CAW of Rico from circa 2003 WWE. And you make more money than anybody else. Nonetheless, I'll give him a consultation. Although first, I'll go ahead and stop the stream momentarily. Then I'll start it back here in just a second with the December. I'm trying to do these month by month as far as the archive goes for Twitch. So I'm going to stop it here in just a second, and I'll start it right after that for December.